Good morning. Our lesson today is about Matthew. When you first start studying about Matthew, his name is Levi. And then along comes Jesus. Now we don't know if Jesus renamed Levi to be Matthew or if he shortened maybe the Greek name or if Levi is a part of his family. So what we do know is that when Jesus saw Levi, he called him by Matthew. And so from here on out, instead of saying Levi, we're going to say Matthew. Matthew was not a very well-liked person. He was called a tax collector, but actually what his job was, he was a customs official that put taxes on imports and exports. So he worked for the Romans, and he didn't have a salary. He made his own salary, in fact. That's why he was so rich. He cheated the people. He was greedy. He put more taxes on than supposed to be on, and they didn't have too much to have to say about it because the law that Matthew made was supported and enforced by the Roman soldiers. So Matthew violated God's laws to get rich at the expense of his countrymen. That's why the Jews hated Matthew, did not like him at all. So, having said that, they were in some sort of meeting, and there was a lot of discussion going on, and one of the questions that popped up was, does Jesus pay taxes? Well, you know, the favorite disciple that talks more than anybody else, Peter spoke up and said, yes, Jesus does pay taxes. Well, I can just see Jesus smiling because Peter spoke up in his defense. So he says, Peter. So Peter comes over. He says, yes, Jesus. He said, I want you to go down to the Sea of Galilee, take your fishing hook, and throw your hook in. And the first fish that you pull out, open his mouth and pull out a coin. So off trots Peter down to the Sea of Galilee. He throws in his hook, pulls out the fish, opens his mouth, and there's a coin. That coin is worth enough to pay 2 people's taxes. So when he comes back and presents the fish or the coin, Jesus says, now go pay mine and your taxes with this coin. So that is what Jesus did. All right, Jesus walks by the booth, the tax booth, and this is the most amazing thing. Jesus looks straight at Matthew, and all he does is say 2 words. And I bet you can guess what those 2 words are. Follow me. And amazingly, Matthew put down his bag, similar to one of the bags over here on this hanging that we have here, the banner. He puts down the bag of money. He forgets all about the wealth that he has and his possessions and the fine place that he lives. Because see, he's got all of that because he's been saving for a while. And he follows Jesus just with those 2 words. Isn't that truly amazing? So he follows Jesus and he throws a party. There's a party. I mean, he's got the money to do a banquet. And so Jesus is one of the honorees at that. Well, when these Jews see that Jesus has selected Matthew, who is a hated tax collector. What do you suppose they thought of Jesus? But Jesus had a plan. He knew what he was doing. See, Matthew was a very smart man. I mean, he was very well organized. He had all of his records in order. And so he was he would be a valuable tool to Jesus. So when he followed Jesus, Peter was still the leader, but Matthew became very important to the group also. Well, the thing that we want to see here is the banner that we have, and we have on it 3 bags. Now you can already guess what's supposed to be in those bags. It's money, isn't it? He was a tax collector, so he collected money from the people. And that is the significance of the 3 bags that we see on Matthew's banner today. So at this time, let's bow our heads for our prayer. It's called the Mizpah Benediction. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent one from the other. Amen. Have a good week.